recent issue of BRT was a huge one for many people in this area. That's the bus route transit. That's it. That issue regarded a transit system to be built that would impact much of the Provo-Orem area and also had some budget implications. Where did you stand on this issue? Why? And if it comes up again while you are commissioner, what actions will you take?
So my position is that transportation is an important issue, as I've addressed previously. Air quality is an important thing, and cars are the #1 contributor to bad air. My position on BRT is, I wasn't involved early on like some of the other people were. However, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about BRT. Some people said that there was a brand new tax that was going to be implemented to pay for BRT. There's actually $0 being spent from county revenue because UTA is going to be reimbursing the county for the money that's being spent. What actually happened was the county is responsible for bonding for the initial cost for that, and then UTA over the course of time is going to be paying the county back for those costs. Now we can get into the question of whether or not UTA is a very efficient entity, and I agree with some of the other comments that have been made previously, and that is not, because like has been mentioned, they don't have any sort of representation, and there's no accountability there, so I would do something different.
So with the Bus Rapid Transit program, the problem that you have is this was something that was originated where we decided to pursue START grant money from the federal government. They laid out a program that said, we'll kick in $75 million, you kick in the other $75 million. The problem with the boondoggle is it's already coming in at a new price tag of $180 million. Yes, UTA has agreed to repay us out of our own sales tax money through the first quarter sales tax, and then they will reimburse us over the next 15, 20 years. The problem with this boondoggle is it is a project that ties up all of the third quarter cent sales tax, which is where your road money otherwise would be coming out of. But because we're committing it to an organization such as UTA, a corrupt organization apparently, the problem with that sort of policy is that you are having road needs on the south part of the county, we're having road needs on the north part of the county, and that's a serious problem. So that's my issue with this whole project, is I think that it is destined to be a boondoggle. Thank you so much.
I was not involved in the inner workings of the Bus Rapid Transit and the math behind it. I've learned about it a lot since, because it's been a big question that's been arised, but I knew basics, and I would say this, that the thing that I did not like is that it was a small group of people that made a decision that had a great financial effect upon a large group of people. And so at the very least, the BRT should have went to the ballot and let the people decide. It was if they knew more than us and they did not trust us, or whatever that might be. And so I'm thinking if it's a big enough project and it has that great effect and it affects the entire county, then the entire county should have had the ability and afforded to them to vote on it and to educate themselves on the issue. And so the proper role of government at that point would have been to educate you and to make sure you had good facts to base that information, and then go to the polls and let the county decide. And that's where I would have addressed it.
I was opposed to BRT because it is not an effective and efficient use of taxpayer money. Government never spends its money, it spends your money, and that's sacred funds, and they should be delivered to the areas of greatest need with responsibility. In this particular instance, that was not the case. Not to mention the fact we tied ourselves up with federal money. Federal money is crack. It's a drug. It's addictive. And when you get hooked on it, you lose your freedom and your ability to self-govern. And when we get into projects like this, we lose control of our money and funding. That's why I'm opposed to it. The solutions, UTA needs to be put on a performance-based contract. If they don't meet their projections and their ridership usage, they don't get paid. That's how it works in the real world. We can then start to open this up to a more competitive marketplace and get more bang for your buck when we're spending your tax money on something that we need, which is mass transit. If we can't pursue that avenue, the people that are making the decisions at UTA absolutely must be accountable to the taxpayer through election.
BRT is actually an enormous problem. It's an enormous issue that is multifaceted in almost every way that we look at it. So far, we've kind of heard on past tense. The reality is that the new commissioner is going to have to deal with what's dealt and on the table. There's immense property rights issues that are associated with BRT, because right now there's 260 different parcels that are at play that have not had any negotiation started with it. They haven't broken ground. They're already talking about going over budget. There's easements. There's a variety of different areas. Right now you have 5 crosswalks that are not hardly ever used. They're going to 7 crosswalks that will require a 90 to a 2-minute time frame for going across. That's going to add, if you're going from the bus station up to BYU, that's going to add a 15-minute delay. It's going to add extra pollution to the air. There's a variety of areas, and that's before you get to the safety issues associated with people going across the areas. I've talked with the engineers, I've talked with different areas, and I'm actually looking at solutions that we'd have to work with.